in from out of town that would come to eat, and some from Oklahoma-ish way. And they were like,
what's up, it's Luis from America's Best Restaurants, and we travel the country coast to coast to find the places where you need to eat at on a weekly basis. And this week we're in Dallas Pike, West Virginia, and we're in an amazing restaurant called Ruttenbucks Bar and Grill. We're gonna get to talk to Leslie, who's the owner, plus we're gonna see some items like their pierogi and a few other things that are gonna make your mouth water. I know you're hungry because you're watching this, so why don't you come with me? Let's go check it out. All right, everybody, so now we are inside Ruttenbucks Bar and Grill, but before we get started, I want you to make sure you hit that like button and hit the subscribe button so you can help me out, help America's Best Restaurants out. Now, we are here with Leslie, who's the owner. So Leslie, number one, we really appreciate you allowing us in here.
oh, for sure.
This has been an amazing experience already. And then Ryan went and decided to put this in front of me. So talk to me, what do we have here?
So that is what we call West Virginia dip, because you're in the state of West Virginia.
Okay.
And it's kind of a little play on, you know, what they call it, beef on a weck in New England, right? And so it's our roast beef that we serve. We could use our roast beef as our roast beef dinner, open face dinner, but on there with some cheese melted on it, and you dip it in the au jus, and
That's
amazing.
so good.
Amazing.
Wow. I've had beef on wet.
Yes.
So it's
Have
funny
you?
that you said that. Yeah. I had it last year in September in New York. It was really good.
Yeah, it's a New Englandish kind of thing. So we kind of did a play on that.
This is really good. I love this bread.
Good.
Oh,
Good.
this is so good.
Toasted just right.
I literally want to end it because I want to dunk this whole thing and just eat it. It's so good. Leslie, let me ask you. Your background, you kind of sort of grew up in the restaurant industry, right?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk a little bit about this in a second here, but I want to get back to your story because you kind of sort of grew up in the restaurant industry, but you took a different kind of like a business approach to it, right?
Yes. Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, my business approach was going into, I was a local Burger King DM.
Okay.
So I had 5 restaurants locally for Burger King, which I loved. And then a corporate position came open that was called an operations specialist. So basically my operations side was to teach people how to properly operate and maintain their restaurant.
Okay.
So being corporate, it was all micromanaged and detail oriented.
Yeah.
And so I did that for several years. And then this opportunity came to buy this restaurant locally. And I was in hotels traveling for 4 nights a week for a couple years. So I was ready to stay home.
Okay.
But I didn't get to go do a lot of stuff because, you know, most of your time spent in the restaurant.
Right.
So when it's your time to give everybody their good time, you know, so I might have Mondays off.
So you were very procedure based, right? So you implemented all these procedures and everything?
We have systems. There's a lot of systems. And that's part of what makes your restaurant flow properly is implementing the correct systems for there's a procedure for everything. There has to be.
Now, was there something that you picked up while doing the DM position that really, when you learned it, you're like, oh, this is definitely applicable, that you used it here?
It's a long story, so I'm not going to go into it, but it's it's about tools, time, skill, and will. Okay. Tools, time, skill, and will is you give people the right tools to do the job. Right. You give them the time to do the job properly. You teach them the skill. And if you've done all of that and they're still not doing the job correctly, it becomes down to will. They're just not willing to do the job. And you have to make that decision whether they're good for your team or not. So there's a longer version of that I could go into because that was part of my training when I used to train managers. But that's basically the simple part of it is tools, time, skill, and will.
Wow. Okay. All right. Pretty interesting. Now, you had your family in here earlier.
I did.
And you were adamant. You're like, I want to get a photo with my dad with this. Talk to me. What is this? And let's talk about the recipe.
I love my dad to pieces. But this is what we call on the menu. It's called Dad's sauce.
Okay.
So my dad, we grew up eating spaghetti every Sunday.
Really?
Every Sunday we had spaghetti, but we didn't always have this sauce. It took a long time to get to this sauce. So we were guinea pigs for my dad for a lot of years before he's perfected his spaghetti sauce. We now have an exact recipe of how to make my dad's sauce. And it's a little bit different than a sauce that you get at most Italian restaurants, because my dad there's nothing Italian about him at all. But his thing was spaghetti sauce, and that's what we grew up on.
But you and I were talking off camera earlier, and you mentioned that you asked him to write the recipe down. Tell me about when you asked him to write the recipe down.
I did. So he had this restaurant downtown, and he was making a pot of spaghetti, and I asked him to write it down, and he put everything in the pot, had it simmering, and then he goes across to the IAC, has 2 beers, come back and stir. So that's how you time how you stir. You don't want to stir your sauce too much. You just enough time, but it's timed by 2 beers, come back and stir.
And that's literally what he wrote down?
That's exactly what he wrote down.
That's awesome.
It is.
That's awesome. Now, how did you translate that sauce from the, hey, go across the street, drink 2 beers, come back?
Because I don't allow my staff that makes it. We don't let them have 2 beers and then come back and stir. But it's just time.
So how did you distill it down from what he said to what you have now?
It's probably about 15 minutes.
Okay.
So that
was the actual timing.
Yeah. So, and then it cooks for like 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
It's fun.
No, that was
hilarious.
Great. You were very used. I want to get a photo with my dad with it, which is cool.
Yeah.
Because this is what you grew up with, and
this is my dad. Yeah.
Right, and now you have it in the menu, that's really cool.
Okay.
Now, your dad originally bought a restaurant a long time ago? Was it a bar though?
It was a bar, and then he had a kitchen put in the back, and he wanted to serve spaghetti because that's his thing.
That's his thing.
And we did spaghetti Sundays at the restaurant. So we got to eat after we served everybody else the spaghetti on spaghetti Sundays. So it was $10, all you could eat spaghetti.
Wow.
I know.
But you also told me that the day after, he likes to take the skillet and toast it, the spaghetti, right?
Listen.
How does that work?
Okay, so here's how, if I'm going to eat spaghetti here in the restaurant, this is how I make it.
Okay.
And they'll throw it on the flat top. Not a lot of sauce, butter, and you throw it on the flat top until it's almost like a spaghetti pancake. Like it's almost burnt, and you flip it over, butter, a little bit of Parmesan cheese. That is literally the best way to eat spaghetti.
Okay.
Butter, light sauce, and then put it in I do it at home in an iron skillet. That's the best way to do it, is in an iron skillet, because you get better flavor that way.
Huh. Okay. I'm gonna have to try that at home for sure. Now, this right here, these look incredible.
The sweet potato fries.
Okay.
They're huge.
What is this?
That is the secret sauce. That is cinnamon butter we make in-house.
What?
It's cinnamon butter that we make in-house, and it's amazing.
That's actually really good.
That's amazing.
Wow. I typically have my sweet potato fries with honey mustard.
Yeah.
But that's really good.
No,
I've never
you
had
gotta
that
have
before.
it with cinnamon butter. Yeah.
Where did this come from?
We've just always made cinnamon butter, and we usually, we serve sweet potatoes that used to be the size of your head, like they were football-sized sweet potatoes, and then we always served our cinnamon butter with the sweet potatoes. And so when we no longer could get the sweet potatoes the way we like them, so we started doing the sweet potato fries, which a lot more people will eat the sweet potato fries. And then we still serve the cinnamon butter with
That's really different. I actually like that a lot.
Yeah.
Very, very unique.
Good.
Very unique.
Good.
Now, is there an item, other than, of course, this, that's kind of unique in the menu, or like a gem in the rough that when somebody finds it, boom, that's what their go-to is?
Well, pierogies and the pulled pork is going to be your go-to for that, because who doesn't love pierogies?
Now, are there people who don't know what pierogies are?
There are those people on this planet that don't know what pierogies are. And here's how we explain pierogies.
Okay.
They are mashed potato raviolis. Is exactly. We used to get a lot of guys in from out of town that would come to eat, and some from Oklahoma-ish way, and they were like, never heard of a pierogi. And so we served them to him, and he's like, this is like a mashed potato ravioli. And that's what we call them.
These are really good.
And those are amazing.
Really good. They're unique.
Right, because the pork's done in-house. That's one of our signature products, is the pulled pork. But you can add pierogies to almost anything and be amazing.
Do you serve them with any other toppings, or is it mostly just pulled pork?
No, we'll serve them with the pulled chicken. We also, as a side, we'll just toss them in our wing sauces. and you can
your
have
wing sauce?
any of our wing sauces. We can go to that too,
Okay.
because we have, it's called Die Hard or Raging Cajun. That is probably our two most popular.
Okay.
And then Chipotle Ranch is amazing. So, yeah.
Huh. Okay. These I'm a huge fan of. These are absolutely awesome. But you told me that you guys are known.
We are known for that.
What is this? What do we got?
That is our full rack of ribs. It's baby back ribs. And you pick up a knife to cut them, but you don't need a knife. Okay. We tell people all the time you don't even need utensils for those. They are fall off the bone good with our sweet barbecue sauce on them.
Oh, really good. I like the char.
You have to do that. If you're gonna do ribs, you gotta sauce it while they're cooking to caramelize that sugar in that sauce, and that brings out that sugar flavor in the sauce.
So folks, I have to tell you two things. Number one, Ryan loves ribs now. And number two, let me know below which one of these items you are going to get when you come to Ruttenbucks. Ryan, I'm telling you, you're gonna love these ribs. Now, why did you want to add ribs to the menu? What was the significance behind it?
Well, the ribs were already, in 2011, like I said, I bought the restaurant in 2011. Ribs were already on the menu and one of the signature products that were sold at the restaurant. Okay. So we just turned it to the next level.
I see.
I changed the sauce that was used and a little bit of the procedure on how they were cooked, and got this fall off the bone recipe that
really
if I enter in a contest, which we do quite frequently, I bring these and everybody's like, oh no, we're gonna lose.
Everybody's like, I'm just gonna go home now.
Because I'll walk away with the hardware on that one.
Let me go back a little bit on the pierogies. You mentioned the wing sauces.
Yeah.
What are the wing sauces that you have here? Because that sounds awesome. I've never seen pierogies in a menu outside of a Polish restaurant.
Right.
But then you can mix them with the wing sauces?
Yeah, and you can get them grilled or deep fried too.
Okay.
So there's a couple different ways you can get your pierogies.
Yeah.
You can just boil them.
Yes.
You can put them on the flat top and grill them, or you can drop them in the deep fryer. Most of the people that drop them in the deep fryer want them tossed in the wing sauce.
Okay.
And because that gives them more of a grip to stay on.
Right.
And most of the sauces that we have for our wings, we make in-house. So there's very few that actually come out of a bottle or a jar in the house. Like our Raging Cajun, we have the Jim Beam sauce, we have Chipotle Ranch.
Okay.
And Die Hard. Die Hard's probably our #1 popular one, and which is kind of like a buffalo flavor on that.
Which one's your favorite?
My favorite's Chipotle Ranch.
Chipotle Ranch.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have to try that.
I like that on my wings, but I like to sauce my wings and then put them in the oven and bake that sauce in.
So you want to get that nice
if I'm
glaze
gonna
on it?
Yes, that's how I'm gonna do it. Yeah.
Okay, I like the way you think.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Now, there was a lady that came in here that you invited, and she walked in, and then she came up to me and she talked to me. She said, I want you to do me a favor. Okay, what do you need? She said, I want you to talk about how Leslie is with the community.
Aw.
So I heard from her that you feed the football team. Is that right?
We do. We do.
Tell me about that.
I had 2 boys, and they were nice-sized boys.
Yeah, the one looks like a truck, like a Mack truck.
He's 6'6", about 280, and that's how he's been that big since 7th grade.
Wow.
But being that kind of a sport mom, and understanding how this area, football, and I do it for the softball team. We just fed the softball team because they ended up being in the state championship game.
Wow.
So we fed them before they left for their state championship game. But that's what it's all about. It's all about community and working with your community and doing things just for them. It's Little League softball, it's Little League baseball, but every Friday home game for the football team, we pull the team in here and feed 60 kids. So
that's really cool.
Their last meal, that I had a couple of businesses that wanted to help out, and so we had some sponsorships that they did get half a rack of ribs for their last meal. So it wasn't like they were just eating like bologna sandwiches. They were eating good.
So you do this just to do this to give back?
Yeah, because
cool.
a lot of the parents, like the ones that you talk to, are my regular customers, you know, and they come in here all the time. The kids come in. We'll have kids after high school. The high school's literally right across the street. So we have kids that come in after school and come and play a couple of games of pool and just hang out, and they're good kids, you know, and they're just hanging out, having fun, and that's what we want. We want them to grow up knowing that this is their favorite place to go. And then as they grow up, when they leave town, or if they leave town, they come back home, this is the place they want to come and eat and hang out with their friends.
That's cool. So this is like Cheers. And if you're too young to know what that is, Google it. You'll find it.
Yeah.
This is just like Cheers. That's really cool. No, but it's really cool that you allow them to come in here and they can go hang out and play pool and everything, because they're in a safe environment and they don't get in trouble.
Yes, that's exactly
potentially
it.
in trouble.
That's exactly it. A lot of people are like, they don't want these kids hanging out in their restaurants or their facilities and stuff, and I'm like, they stay in line. They're good.
That's
you know?
really cool.
So
that's really cool that you do that, and I'm glad that the lady came in and told me about it, because I wanted to include it. You know, in this
sweet.
episode.
That was sweet.
So that's phenomenal. Now, this right here, tell me, what do we have?
This is the Smokey Mountain Burger.
Okay.
It needs probably a little bit more barbecue sauce on it.
Okay.
And it's a burger with bacon, egg, cheese, 8-ounce Angus burger, with some barbecue sauce on it. And I don't know if you've kind of caught on, but some of the names that we have for some things are very West Virginia oriented, or Appalachian oriented, because that's where we are, and our menu's made to make you smile a little bit.
It definitely is. Now, has there been something that you added to the menu other than this?
The spaghetti?
Yes.
Oh, we've added a lot of things to the menu.
Was the pierogi part of the menu?
The pierogies were not part of the menu. The West Virginia dip was added on there. I'm trying to think what else we've added on there. That fried green beans is one of the things that we do too. That's been put on there. We do pizza on Thursdays.
Okay.
I used to have a pizza shop that I had way back in the day.
I did not know this. What do you mean way back in the day? You're like 20. What are you talking about?
It was 2014 to 2016. It was actually called Stadiums.
Okay.
And it was food that I researched that were signature sandwiches from all football stadiums across the country. So every once in a while we'll serve up a Green Bay brat. The Yankee Deli, which is my favorite Italian sandwich.
Okay.
We do a Kansas City brisket hoagie. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that's just unique to my menu.
Absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely. Because I mean, you know, when I walk through the door, I'm like, okay, so this is gonna be a burger kind of chicken sandwich place, but then you come with ribs, then you have the spaghetti and meatballs, which is awesome. The pierogies, which I've never seen in a menu outside of a Polish restaurant, with the pulled pork on top and cheese, that's a huge winner. Yeah. Huge winner.
Good stuff.
This right here, the dip, phenomenal. Burger's awesome, but I already knew it was gonna be awesome, right? Now, is there anything else? Do you guys do any caterings? Anything like that here?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about that.
We do caterings for any event, large or small. The largest event I did was for a company that's down the river a little bit. With 165 16-ounce steaks in 35 minutes. Rolled it out.
What?
Killed it. Yes,
Wow.
we did great. And then we'll do something small, as like a 25 person catering. So yeah, we do anything in-house or out-of-house. We have events here. We do a lot of fundraising events here. And we do things that most people probably don't know about. We do a spaghetti dinner. We did that for a young boy locally who was diagnosed with cancer, and it was during COVID, and the parents literally had to just go be with him at the hospital. And so we wanted to raise some money for them. So we just did a drive-through spaghetti dinner fundraiser. So people didn't even have to get out of their car, and they bought tickets, and it was, I think we raised like $6,000 for those people in one afternoon. It was pretty cool.
That's really cool.
It was.
That's really cool. So you can come here and rent this for private parties and everything like that?
Yeah.
That's really cool. Now, when you're hungry, what is your main go-to? Now, folks, we're going to give you the diet version and the non-diet version. Okay. So when you're on a diet, what do you typically get?
I get our grilled Canadian, which is a grilled whitefish, which is nice size, and I'll add a side of shrimp to it. Lightly Cajun.
Surf and serve.
Yes, and then with broccoli, because it's so good. And but if I'm not, I'm either going to go for the ribs. The Smoky Mountain is my favorite burger to go to. I mean, literally, it's just across the board. But if I'm gonna get spaghetti, though, I'm gonna have them fry up my spaghetti. But I only do that on Sunday.
Okay. So let me ask you this: when you have somebody brand new that walks in, what do you typically recommend to them?
We're probably going to recommend the sampler.
Okay.
And the sampler will have our pulled chicken, our pulled pork, and our ribs with our cornbread, and one other side of your choice on that.
Okay.
So that's probably the go-to, just to be able to sample a little bit of everything on there. But I have people that literally find their one sandwich and then they'll not veer off of it.
That's it. Not even if you try to convince them.
Nope.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Now, in regards to the bar, which your bar is awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Do you have any special drinks that you make here in house?
We do.
Okay.
Of course, we have a Daisy Duke, because what country bar wouldn't have a Daisy Duke?
All right.
We have the Tropical Hillbilly.
Okay.
But our beer comes in mason jars. So when you order a draft beer, it's coming to you in a 32-ounce mason jar.
By default.
Or our iced tea. That's really good.
Shout out to Ryan.
Yeah, shout out to Ryan.
Iced tea off camera.
Got some iced tea over there. Yeah.
Okay, that's very cool. Look, folks, if you're looking for more restaurants like Ruttenbucks, which you should, if you like restaurant content, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit that bell notification so you know whenever we drop a new episode. Leslie, this has been an incredible experience. Now tell me, how can people find out more information about your restaurant? They got 2 locations, by the way. Okay.
Two. So you can go to our Facebook page. We actually have 2 Facebook pages, one for each location. So we have Ruttenbucks Bar and Grill, Dallas Pike location, which is near Cabela's if you're shopping. And then Ruttenbucks Bar and Grill Route 2 South, which is the Glendale location. It's in Marshall County in West Virginia.
Okay, cool. You have a website?
We do have a website, www.ruttenbucks.com. And we're working on some other Twitter and all that fun stuff, so an avenue for them to venue out. We're going to have a place in the restaurant for them to be able to Snapchat and stuff.
Okay, that's very cool. Look, you can also find a full listing for them on americasbestrestaurants.com. And this is usually where I do the sign off, but she's got such a cool sign off that I want you to do the sign off.
All right.
So talk to me. What is it?
All right. Ruttenbucks Bar and Grill, I-70, Exit 11, Dallas Pike, where you find good fun, good music, and always damn good grub.
Boom. You heard it here. I'm going to see you guys on the next one.